this video clip, what I'd like to show you is a custom made knife by Broc Knives of Ireland. Here it's here, and this is the Broc Tracker knife. This is the small version of the knife. He does two, and I've got the other one as well. So what I'd like to do then is just start off with some specifications on the blade. The overall length from the tip to the rear of the handle is 26 centimeters. From the tip to the handle here is 13 centimeters, and the handle length is approximately 12.5 centimeters. From its widest point up here at the spine to the quarter round hook here is 5 centimeters, and here at the anvil to this edge here is 4 centimeters. You can see here at the rear it has a lanyard hole, and then it has 1, 2, 3 Allen bolts securing the handle slabs to the knife, and we can see here that it is a solid through tang. The thickness of the blade then, what I can make out is 4 mils thick, but it does look slightly thicker up on the handle here, so possibly could go up to 5 mil. And on the top of the handle here you can see it has 5 jimping slots here for your thumb to get in as it comes up onto this thumb ramp. There's a nice positive grip here, and just in front of my thumb at the side we can see these thumb scallops that you would use for carving or maybe doing a chest lever grip type cut. So starting at the front then, of this flat top edge here that you could use for striking your fire steels. It is quite sharp, and so is this area here, so I think I'll be able to use all of this with a fire steel. No problem. Yeah, that'll work. Let's move on to the anvil, this area here. Yep, it's working. Happy enough with that. Let's see what the saw does. It's even better. So there you go. The full top spine on the Broc Tracker is really good for striking your fire steel or ferro rod. This chopping edge at the front here, you can see what I can make out is a convex edge. It's flat to this point here and then starts to come in from this point here right to the edge. And as we come to the quarter round here, this comes into a flat to like a Scandi type edge, or a Scandi Vex. It's quite hard to make out what it actually is. And on the top here we have a saw, the saw teeth which are offset to each other. And the front one here is for wire breaking or as a pot hanger. We just look at this, I'll show you how that works. There we go. So it fits in there nice, and this is the TBS cup here, and it works perfect with that. We'll just see if it can take the pot and the other teeth as well. Yep. So there we go, it's big enough that it can actually take the pot anywhere along the saw. And you can see up the front there, it has the Broc logo on the side of the blade. You can see the knife itself is gun blued, a nice dark shade there, a gun bluing, which protects the whole blade. And the only bit is exposed is actually the cutting edge itself, which will go a long way to help protect the O1 tool steel which it's made of. And this area here has an index thumb groove here to assist you in the foregrip or reinforced grip, whether you're using the ramp or the anvil for carving tasks. So that fits nice and comfortable in there. This area here of the handle takes the 3 fingers no problem, with the index finger sitting in the groove. I'm not too sure of the weight, I would need to get back to you. This is a trade, I actually got 2 of them. So thanks very much, Lee, for the trade. Appreciate it. And as we know, a lot of us who have used the tracker, they're either one of these blades that's you either love them or you hate them. You know, it's a bit like Marmite. Do we like it? Do we hate it? And I think a lot of it's actually got to do with your personal skill levels. If they're up to a high enough standard, you'll be able to get as much as possible out of the blade with all the various features it has on it. And if it's not, well, it's a lot of work and time you actually need to spend putting in to get the best out of the knife. And also another thing I find with the tracker blades is the weight of them, especially like the tops model, really heavy and cumbersome for some people. Right, another thing you find with the tracker knives is that they're a one tool option, survival tool, and this is where we get the old saying, jack of all trades and master of none. But you've got to be prepared that there needs to be a bit of come and go with these, and some people just don't give the time or have the patience to spend the time developing the skill levels that's required to get the best out of these style of blades. As most of you know, this style of blade was featured in the film The Hunted, and I think it was a Dave Broc knife that they actually used for the film The Hunted. You can correct me if I'm wrong there, but that's what I recall from many years ago when it first came out. And I've always fancied getting one of these blades and just never got round to it. And the main reason was how expensive they are in the UK. We're close on to £300 now for the tops tracker, the large model, and I just think it ain't worth it. And there seems to be a lot of modification required when we are purchasing the tops knife, you know, removing the shoulder, making it into a convex, the draw knife area here, a lot of people prefer that to be hollow ground or Scandi ground, and they need to change that. So there seems to be a fair bit of modification required for a knife that's so expensive, and that's the main reason I haven't purchased one up to this moment in time. I haven't used any Broc knives at all, so this will be my first, and I've got high hopes for it. Right, so here's a size comparison for you. I know most of you will be unfamiliar with these blades, but sorry, this is all I've got out in the field with me today. At the bottom here we can see the Origins Kukri, and in the middle the Broc Tracker, and at the top the neck knife prototype done by Origin. And it's just to give you a bit of a size comparison. So here's the Granford Brock's Wildlife Hatchet, and here's a chopping edge comparison. So you can see it's slightly bigger in head size or edge size, which is quite good. And that's what it would look like. The next thing I would like to do then is cover the quarter round here for doing some feather sticks. Let's see how I manage with that. So obviously it'll take me a wee bit of time to become accustomed to it, but yeah. Yeah, it does them okay. I was expecting a bit better actually. Try my Origin just to see if there's any difference between their planter hook and the quarter round. Obviously a smaller knife, much easier to control. Yeah, it's doing it a lot easier. But that could just be down to the size of the blade and doing them much finer as well. But it does do them, so let's try that again. I mean, they'll definitely take to light. So for making your bird's nests quickly, let's see what it's like using the Scandi or the draw knife section. And you can see where the Scandi section I used there has made totally different types of feathers. Right, let's see if we can get this to light. This is its first feather stick that I've done. There we go. So that's okay for its first attempt. At least it got up and running. So that works. Just need a bit more time and get the feather sticks a bit smaller so they'll take to light much easier.